Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about the new movie Malignant, which is available on HBO Max as well as in theaters today. And let me tell you, if I can give you one piece of advice, it is avoid spoilers for this thing. You guys, this review is going to be very generic, very spoiler free. I'm not going to touch on many details of the film at all because really, spoilers could ruin your experience. This is one that feels predictable until it isn't, and I just think you should totally avoid spoilers going into it. Don't worry, like I said, this review is going to be very non-spoiler. But before we dive into it, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on trailer reactions, movie reviews, celebrity interviews, and more stuff like that. All right, let's talk about Malignant. Hey, Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Okay, so this movie starts off and it's like, are they trying to be bad on purpose? And I think they are. I think they're trying to give you that classic horror tropes that you're just like, oh, okay, all right, let's go through the motions. Let's see what's going on. Like, I'm still gonna jump out of my skin, but like, okay, let's see. And then it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. It's bloody almost from the beginning, which as a fan of blood and gore, I was thrilled with. And the blood gets more intense as it goes on too, and the gore and the grotesque stuff. And I was just like, this is amazing. I will say it's not one that, like, if you have a weak stomach and you can't do super grotesque stuff, I don't think there's a lot of moments that are gonna bother you in this because, listen, the story here is actually super captivating and interesting. Right from the start, you're like, again, it's like classic horror stuff, but you're still like, well, I'm kind of intrigued, like, what's going on here, right? What's going to happen? Now, the story, this is the synopsis, is basically there's this woman, and she's seeing visions of murders, and then she realizes that they're real murders, right? It's basically the gist, the overall gist of this, but it is so much more, you guys. This thing is insane, brutal, crazy, campy. It's going to be a cult classic, you guys. I'm just calling it right now. It's one that you can watch over and over again and still enjoy. As soon as it ended, I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch that again. Which is why I really want sequels, okay? So James Wan, if you're listening, sequels, all the sequels, give it to me. Give me all the Malignant. I'm here for it. I want that content. Just inject it into my veins. It's crazy how good this movie is. I will say I went in with lower expectations for this one, and it just completely blew my mind. I felt like I knew what was going on from the trailers. I didn't. You guys know nothing, okay? I promise you this movie is insane with its twists and its turns and a great plot, but it's also visually stunning, you guys. There's a scene towards the beginning where someone is going from room to room, and it's an aerial shot, and you see them almost like a mouse trapped in a maze going from room to room to room. It's crazy how beautiful that shot was. Like, I could watch that all day. I could have watched the whole movie that way, probably. I mean, it was so good. It's so beautiful. And then there's some stuff that's absolutely horrific. Like some shots that you're like, oh my gosh. But you're also like, that was beautiful. Why did I think that was beautiful? Like, why did that look really good? Because the cinematography is amazing and the writing is fun. Like, the dialogue is pretty decent here, you guys. The acting is great. I mean, it's definitely got that campy vibe where you feel like some parts they're trying to be bad on purpose. It's not really bad, but you know, it feels that way, right? Where you're like, oh, this is fun. I can laugh at this. I'm enjoying this. I'm terrified. Like, that's really how it goes. I watched half the movie with the blanket like this. I had my lights off to start. I turned them on halfway through. I jumped probably 30 plus times throughout the movie. It's got a lot of jump scares, which I love jump scares, but they're like warranted jump scares, if that makes sense. Some of them, yes, are thrown in there just to be a jump scare. Some of them are like completely warranted. And it's terrifying. Once you start to put the pieces together, like the second half of the movie, I guess, is just like twist, 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 twist. And you're just like, what is happening? Oh my gosh, your mind is going to be blown. This is like nothing we've seen before. I mean, it's not like Saw. It's not like Conjuring. This is something completely different. And I think James is brilliant in this. It's so good, right? I'm like, good. Like, let's get more of these out of your brain, please. Like I said, I would watch all the sequels to this. It's definitely one that's super a cult classic, you know, rewatchable. I think I said that already, but it's really good. It's like super entertaining from pretty much the beginning to the end. Like I said, there's those classic horror tropes that they throw in there, but they actually really work. And then I will say there's one moment, and I will not spoil it, and when you watch it, you will know what I'm talking about, where you're like, that looks kind of ridiculous, right? Like, is that supposed to look scary or ridiculous? Oh, okay. And then it just gets more and more terrifying. Like, it's very much an on purpose, like, this is kind of silly at first. And then you're like, what the crap am I watching? Like, what the actual fudge did I just watch was basically my words when I stopped watching Malignant. It is banana pants crazy in the best freaking way possible. This thing is nuts, right? There's some issues, not many I can even talk about, honestly, without giving spoilers. So I give this a 4 out of 5. I still really enjoyed it, obviously. I thought it was a ton of fun. It's an absolute blast. And I can't wait to watch it time and time again. And I really have my fingers crossed for some sequels, because this thing is crazy. It's mind-bending. It's like, it's a mind fuck, you guys. It's gonna mess with your brain a little bit, and you're gonna be like, what is going on here? Like, it's very scary. I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. Let's put it that way. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're into this kind of thing, like horror. And like I said, there's some blood and gruesome stuff, but it's not too bad. That's coming from me, though, who loves blood and gore, so maybe don't listen to me on that part. I don't know. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts on the blood and gore. I don't think it's too intense, but it's enough. It's just enough. And the story is fantastic, especially as you wrap up in those last few moments. I was like, this is so good. Like, this is not where I expected this to go. And I was freaking in love with it. I thought it was fantastic. So, like I said, a 4 out of 5 just because of some little issues here and there. But come on, this thing was fun. That's all you gotta say. It's an absolute blast. I loved it. Malignant is in the theaters now or on HBO Max. Listen, you guys want to avoid spoilers, or it could definitely ruin your experience. I can totally understand that. I mean, so head to theaters and see it, or fire up your HBO Max this weekend. And like I said, please avoid spoilers. Trust me, that's a much better experience for you that way. But yeah, this movie is banana pants, and I loved it. You guys let me know your thoughts after you watch Malignant down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more trailer reactions, movie reviews, celebrity interviews, and more. Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.